So this section on parallel and perpendicular lines is going to focus more on creating an equation to a given line, given a point. So, for instance, if they ask you to have parallel lines, you need to make sure that you have the same slope. So the same concept as last lesson. And if you have a perpendicular line, you need to have your negative reciprocal slope. So they may give you an equation of a line, like in this example here, 5x minus 2y equals to 3, and they want an equation of a line that is going to be perpendicular, that goes through a particular point. So if we look at our first equation, which is our 5x minus 2y is equal to 3, this is a line that we are trying to be perpendicular to. As of right now, you can't actually tell what the slope is, so you either have to put it into slope-intercept form, or you can just look at the coefficients of the x and y and see how they relate. If we isolate for y and put it in the slope-intercept form, we can minus 5x to both sides and then divide by negative 2 to each term. Y is then going to become 5 over 2x plus your negative 3 over 2, so we can say subtract 3 over 2. Now that we have that, we can see that our slope currently is 5 over 2. The second thing we want to look at is now our perpendicular line. Its slope is going to have to be negative 2 over 5, the negative reciprocal. And it goes through the point negative 2 and 4. So now that we have those two pieces of information, we can then put it into one of the formats of the lines. Given that we're given a point and a slope, it's easiest to use the slope point format and fill in the details that we have. Y minus your 4 is your y coordinate. M is going to be negative 2 over 5, and then x minus 2, so minus negative 2 becomes positive 2. If they don't tell you what format of a line to put it in, that's perfectly fine. If they ask you to put in a slope-intercept, move your negative 4 over to the other side by adding 4 to both sides, distribute, and combine like terms. If they want it in standard form, eliminate your denominators, move your x and y to one side and your constants to the other side. But if they just say write an equation of a line, it can be in any of the formats. So start with what you know, use the easiest formula or format, and then go from there. So another type of example would be really analyzing two different equations and trying to find a particular equation. So for instance, in this one here, it wants an equation of a line that is going to be perpendicular to this line, but it has the same y-intercept as this one. So there's two things that we really have to grab. We have to find the slope of this one here, so that way we can find the perpendicular slope. And on this one, we have to find your y-intercept. And then once you find that, you need to come up with a new equation of a line. So if we look at the one that's perpendicular first, 2x minus 3y equals to 7. Isolate for your y, you get negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 7. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, and divide by negative 3. Y is then going to become positive 2 over 3x minus 7 over 3. There's the slope of that line. We want the equation to be perpendicular, so perpendicular slope is going to become negative 3 over 2. So we need that piece of information from that first line. Now for the next one, the 5x minus 2y equals to 10, we need to find the y-intercept. So again, if we isolate and put in a slope-intercept format, now what we're interested in is the y-intercept, which is just negative 5. So we now have the two pieces of information that we needed to find. We want the equation of a line that's going to be perpendicular, so with a negative reciprocal slope, to a particular line. 5x minus 2y equals y, and it's y-intercept, which we get here. So, using these two pieces of information, we have a slope and a y-intercept. So if we use the format of y equals mx plus b, we can basically fill in all the information we need. Y equals m, negative 3 over 2x minus 5. And again, if they ask for the line to be in a different format besides slope-intercept format, you can put it into standard format, and put it in general format, and go from there.